Oh my God. They found me. I don't know how, but they found me. Run for it, Marty!
Hey YouTube, here we are back again for the recap of the TinyWhoop stream. I'm here with Skip. That may
Hey, how's it going,
be
guys?
okay. There we go. All
Yeah,
right.
so we come to talk about the what happened on the stream and everything, and kind of give our opinion about how the stream was handled, and which I think they done a really good job. There's a lot of things that we all probably wish that we saw go down that didn't go down, or Uh, and yeah, we just wanted to give a live stream for this and make sure we covered some topics that we didn't get to talk about because we didn't want to stop it. When you're
Mm-hmm.
in the moment, you don't want to stop it and break it down. So yeah, let me share this around. Be sure to share this around, guys, and
If you would and you're able to, join us in the Discord chat. You don't have to show your face or all of that. Posting your comments up will be a little difficult because the program that I've used for the past couple of years to put up your text and everything is now no longer being supported by Chrome. So I'm having to watch the YouTube chat. So feature chat, as far as putting it up on the screen and all that stuff, is not working. But you can. What kind of lover's quarrel was that? Tobias Yoder says. Double A's here. Footloose FPV is here. So we've got a few people in already. Already 3 likes on it. So I guess we're going to get started in it. Let me move the screen around a little bit. I don't need to have that cryon going the whole time with disclaimers because you are going to get mine and Skip's opinion on a few things
yeah.
here.
So this is my own opinion, and I'm not
Yeah,
stating anything to represent any company or anything like that.
right.
This is basically just me and my thoughts about the whole stream and everything. And as far as it goes, we are perceiving this from a video and not involved with the individuals and everything. Everybody's
Mm-hmm.
got their own experience, and when it comes down to people's experiences, then that's something that is personal between them and those people. But it's kind of like what we perceived in watching the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Uh,
First off, uh, I was kind of like the whole thing about the TinyWhoop name on the Joshua Bardwell comment. That was the first one they tackled there. That one there, I was kind of hoping that he was going to be like, you know, I don't care for you to use it, but I didn't see that.
I think he did
Uh,
say it at the
I,
very end. One person asked, and it was in the quick fire, yes or no. They said, "So can anybody use TinyWhoop?" And he's like, "Yes." He did. That
okay,
was in the
well,
quick fire. But
I might have missed that.
yeah,
But yeah, so and I wish that would have been elaborated because that's been a big thing. That stewed this is because of of multiple people being told, not
Mm-hmm.
to use the Tiny Whoop name.
Yeah.
And from what I get, from what I understand, is like people that were just like saying, "Hey, this is my event," and we're using Tiny Whoops.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, that it would go into a copyright infringement conversation, and I don't think that's a copyright infringement conversation when you're using it as a term. Uh, so I That's a really weird area right there to think that you're going to get a copyright infringement for saying, "Hey, my race has got
Mm-hmm.
Tiny Whoops in it," which it
Yeah.
probably does have a lot of products.
Yeah.
And,
And,
and
and
what?
and let me say this real quick, not to interrupt you, Skip.
Yeah,
Let
go
me
ahead.
say this real quick. The the reason why our race is called a micro
Oh, okay.
drone
That,
championship, it it, it is not based solely upon this. One, my thoughts was if the owner of Tiny Whoop didn't want us using it, then we wouldn't. But what was the biggest thing for me is a friend of mine was doing some work in my backyard with a Mini X, and I have the Whoop wagon, and he asked the question. He said, "What's a Whoop? Are
yeah.
you like Bigfoot hunting or something?" He didn't know what a Whoop was, and I was like, "They're micro drones," and that was what. And it's good to see Tiny Whoop here, in the chat, and that was the catalyst for me to
Yeah.
say let's, and it wasn't a decision I made on my own. I made it with Z King and made it with Skip and others, and Philiblaster and other people that are involved in the event. So it's because when we put up a sign or a banner somewhere that says, if we was to say Southeast Tiny Whoop Championship, which we could have, there would be a whole lot of people that don't know what that is. But if you put up the Southeast Micro Drone Racing Championship, they at least know it's a drone race. So that's what we
Right.
did.
Right. But, when I talk about it being a term, when like I didn't even know about Jesse Perkins whenever I found out about a Tiny Whoop. I just knew about the Tiny Whoops. and I mean, no offense to Jesse or anything like that, but became a generalized. It seemed to me to be a generalized term describing a type of drone. And so, whenever I heard about, about the whole copyright infringement things and stuff like that, I was struck like, what's going on. I thought we are talking about a drone. There's a,
Mm-hmm.
this is copyrighted.
Mm-hmm.
and uh and that's when I learned about Jesse.
Mm-hmm.
And uh uh and I didn't want to learn in that kind of light neither. I wanted to kind of learn in the light of, hey, this is the inventor, and not that's copyrighted. You know what I'm saying? So I think maybe rumors getting around or whatever. I don't know, but that is what kind of like stirs the pot. You know what I'm saying? And and I really that was one thing I wanted to really see emphasize, that 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 wouldn't be mine to be used anywhere,
Mm-hmm.
as long as you're not advertising a product.
Yeah.
I totally understand that. If
Mm-hmm.
you're advertising one of your products to be sold or something like that, then I totally understand that, hey, we
Right.
have actual Tiny Whoop, and you need to go and check out his site.
Right.
But
Like
yeah, that's
like
how
like
I took it.
like Scott's brand tissues can't use the name Kleenex. I mean,
Right.
but, I believe Jesse answered that very clearly when he said anybody, it was a quick fire, and
Right.
he's in the chat here, or someone from Tiny Whoops in the chat. Maybe they can clear that up. It was a quick fire question, and it was like, can anybody use the name TinyWhoop for their event, race, or whatever? And yeah, that is Jesse. It's me. It's him, Jesse. And the answer was yes. It was. So I think that put it to rest. One of the first questions that I have as a content creator and a YouTuber was in the chat, and I'll get your take on it, Skip, because I was watching this. Did Spill the Tea do a good job?
It's a hard job. It really is a hard thing to do. I mean, everybody's on a touchy subject, and to appease everybody, I mean, some people just want to see the juicy stuff come out and see drama, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So there's those people that want to just
I think there
see
was
everything.
some that wanted a slobber fest to happen
Yeah,
tonight.
yeah.
But I think that Lamone, Neil, and Johnny did the best that they could. I think that they tried to be fair. Do I think that it made a big difference? Well, let me ask you that question first before I answer mine. Do you think it made a big difference in the community as
Well,
a whole, or did it even make
well,
a difference?
to see this many people passionate about this hobby and to bring it to a level to where it has to come to talking about it on this level, I think it does make a difference because people actually care about this hobby. And so yeah, I think it made a difference for sure.
Yeah, I think it made a difference. Did it do what what Lamone and Neil was hoping? I don't think so. I don't think this is over. But I think that it's put some things out there that needed to be said. Some things were cleared up, such as, just like you said from the onset of this recap stream, is yes, you can use the name TinyWhoop for your events.
Yeah.
So that was cleared up. I don't now, me personally, I think, and we'll see how our event goes. I think when I tell people about the Southeast Micro Drone Championship, people understand it a whole lot more than if we would have named it the Southeast Tiny Whoop Championship. And that's just a public thing.
How
We,
so,
we've
people?
actually we've actually got sponsors that have nothing to do with FPV that are sponsoring it. Regular FPV companies that are doing agriculture and real estate kind of stuff are jumping in on it. And I'm gonna help me watch the chat, Skip.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Yeah. So let
ZD's.
me go back
Yeah,
and
we'll probably need
say
to keep up with it because, like, again, my Stream Ninja
the game
is,
is
yeah.
the June Loco says the game is to be sold, not told. Bitterroot says this is a goofy deal. I didn't like the that 3 hours. It seems like Jesse needs to be a little bit better with his promises, but uh, he's a complete stoner. I'm not going to be repeating cuss words on here. Sorry, it's a family friendly
Mm-hmm.
type of deal. Uh, you know,
Uh,
a lot of people, you got you. A lot of people's expectations are really high when it comes to this type of thing, and I've heard it. I wish Jeff was on. I really
well, see,
do.
that was one of my
I would like
questions. Uh, One of my
because there
questions
were
here: should Jeff have come on?
Yes, because there's one thing that I heard from Jesse that I don't think was intended, and the only reason why I say this is because at IO I had a conversation with Jeff alone, talking to
Mm-hmm.
him and about the whole Tiny Who thing and everything, and he was like telling me it was kind of like a friendly banter, and hopefully they'll have like a little back and forth, and that it brings some attention to both of us, and then like next year, well, maybe we'll have Tiny Whoop and Weebly because I don't want to do this alone, and that's what he told me. That's what that's my personal experience between it. Between talking to Jeff about this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, from what it turned into, I really think that it wasn't intended to turn into this.
Yeah.
Uh,
See,
I think what it turned into is something unique, because I think what was intended was like a couple of back and forth banter between the two companies, and maybe helping each other out, like coming together later on.
yeah.
I don't know if
Yeah.
that's a pathway. I would hope that it is a pathway
Mm-hmm.
because I love both companies. I think
Right.
they're awesome.
Right. Well, here's my answer on it. Um, I'm kind of marking things off on my list that I took notes during the stream about. Um, and if there's something really important, if you'll put at PhatPastor uh, in it or something like that, that we can point out in the chat so we don't skip it. I do apologize again for. You can look it up. Social Stream Ninja has just been removed from Google Chrome, so that's what I was using. But anyway, my answer to the question, should Jeff have come on, might upset some people. But before I answer it, I want to go into a little bit of history. Um, like Skip, I worked with Jeff at IO, and things were were tough. They were hard. We actually had less resources this year at our disposal than we had last year, and uh, I can't thank my friend sitting over here next to me enough. Skip and I worked our butt off, and we put something together that I hope a lot of people liked in the community. And following IO, Jesse and I did talk, and what we spoke about there is not something I'm going to talk about here. Jesse and I spoke not face to face, but voice. This is not a text. I don't like text because a lot of things get misconstrued in it, and I wasn't aware of everything that was was posted. I'd seen a few things, and I was asked. Even Skip can tell you that before I posted anything, I was talking to Skip about it, and actually, Skip and I didn't agree. Skip was like, Marty, if I was you, I'd probably just stay out of it. And I felt led to post what I posted, and it's still on there. I'm not ashamed of it in any way of what I posted. And Jesse and I talked about it and explained it to him. But that being said, knowing what knowing how Jesse felt about the things that were being said, and then he actually asked me something, and I wasn't aware of it. He was like, "This is going on," and I was like, "What? I haven't seen that." But I didn't go through and read everything, and he asked me to go through and read, and I did the following night. I read everything that I could find on it, and there was some stuff in there that I didn't agree with. Some banter, like what Skip was talking about. Um, from my standpoint, it was people blowing off some steam. And in my opinion, to answer the question that I started with, in my opinion, if Jeff would have been on the stream tonight, I think it would have went worse than what it did, because it would have been all about Jeff Gabowski versus Jesse Perkins. We Bleed versus TinyWhoop, and I think it would have gotten ugly, just because, you know, one of the things that Jeff said, and he told me this in person, that this thing is not about him. And then I find out that really Jace was the guy who was the administrator of Tiny Who and all of this. So, yes, Zotek is a main poster on there or whatever, and all of it. So my opinion was, I think it would have went worse tonight had Jeff been on there, because would have it would have forced upon everybody okay, we've got an MMA match, a verbal MMA match about to go on. And I think that there was several people that showed up tonight with the Colosseum and the gladiators of old type mentality. We're going to watch these two guys go at it, and one company is going to come out the victor, and the other one will ruin themselves in front of everybody.
Yeah,
And
that would be terrible.
I'm glad that that did not happen.
Yeah,
And I
absolutely.
think the chat would have forced it. Because I mean, one of the things that stood out to me in the chat is there was people just boom, 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 boom with the same question over, over, and then the other people with the same defense over. I mean, the sides. What was it? 44-55 was the final poll. So, I mean, it shows a split, which is not good. It's not good. It shows a split right down the middle of the hobby. And so my answer to that is, now Bitterroot says, I'm betting Zotek knew better than to be involved. Maybe he did. It's wise to know your own limitations. If you're a good communicator and you're good on camera and you can look, Jesse was doing some things that was good, that, people might have thought it was stupid that he was taking time to make sure that he was looking into the camera. That makes a difference. You may not realize it or not, but it makes a difference when people are looking at you like I am right now and talking,
Right.
as opposed to
Yeah.
somebody talking like this, you
Yeah.
know, me saying, I really value every one of you viewers and your opinions, though we may not agree with them. Or if I'm over like this, yeah, I really value. So there's some
But
things you got to know your limits. And
yeah, well, Pastor, there's also, I mean, there's also a bit of a thing that, that this is a job that these people are doing.
mm-hmm,
And there's not, there's some stuff in a job that's just not fun to deal with.
mm-hmm,
And you have to take that in account. We I've and that's what I've taken account with in learning myself in the business, is because you're trying to pay for everything and remember everything and do everything right, but a lot of times uh, those people feel like one man teams, and and uh, and like they're trying to do everything themselves. And I think they stretch themselves so thin at times that it makes them just you know not exactly able to watch everything they say. Uh,
mm-hmm.
and I've seen it myself. I mean, dealing with the FPV company, FPV community sometimes is a little hard because, like we've sent people drones that were ready to go out the box, and they just flash them, like immediately, just flash them.
Yeah,
So so there's some stuff about this is kind of stressful because you're trying to work with friends, and sometimes you have to put business ahead of friends.
right.
And sometimes you think that you're on the right path of doing something and you overreacted or whatever. But uh so yeah, I think that that's one of the reasons why I told you, stay out of it is because that I'm used to, representing a company
Hmm.
that's in a niche community, you know, and it doesn't take a lot to uh go down the wrong path. Uh let's read some of these
Yeah,
comments real
I'm
quick.
trying to get the. I'm almost where I'm getting the chat on the screen. So yeah, you work on that end, and I'm going to work on this end, and hopefully we'll be able to get some of the chat up
All right.
on the screen for
I
our
would have
viewers.
I would have preferred the first half to be reasons by blocking JP from events. I'm thinking it's really personality clashes, which should be worked out. Embrace as part as entertainment. Uh, Jeff needed to be IMO, the one and owning the page, community side, ones that didn't get hurt being invited, tossed into it because of it. Let's see here. McShaky's second half devoted to the deceptive business practice claims. Uh, you know, like I have dealt with that myself. Uh, it's a hard thing to do because everybody's trying to profit from this. Uh, and yeah, I do build for 533. Uh, let's see right here. Yeah, the argument's not going to be good for anyone between the two. Yeah, I don't necessarily think that Lamone and them would let that happen on their show either.
Hmm.
Uh, and if it did happen, I'm sure it'd be probably ended pretty quickly.
Yeah, I like Mr. McShaky says, or McShaky says that he said, I like how they guided and tried to guide it away from the personal and focus back on the community impact. And I have to agree with that. Having gone back myself, and I'm gonna tell you guys, if y'all don't know this about me already, I am not much of a Facebook guy. The guys that are involved with the championship race, that's one of the things I've told them. I'm not good at that. I'm not good at social media as far as that type. The typed conversations. Things get lost too much. But I think they did a good job of trying to keep it away from the personal and to get it back on the community impact, because that was the one thing that stood out to me as actually being something that could be used for good in this whole thing, was for people's voice to be heard. And there was a comment, and I'm gonna go right to this. I probably shouldn't, but I am, because you know we're recapping, and some things we need answers on, and we may not get them. But if I'm missing something too in the chat, please point it out to me. But
Well, Tobias says, how did it come to making a slam page about TinyWhoop though? Don't these guys have better things to do, like fly? So Tobias is wondering how it all started, and I think it went from switching at IO, from them switching to from Tiny Whoop to Weebleed at IO, that made this happen.
yeah,
Uh,
initially, I don't know how it started. Initially, my understanding of what it was I wasn't even totally aware when I posted. I was asked to post my feelings and what it was like, IO 2024 contrasted to IO 2025. And I did. And Jesse and I talked about that, and we're good. And I've spoke to Zotek since then, and here there's something that come out that one of the person, I think it was, might have been Peter, is that his name? That Nightwing, or oh come on,
Yeah, no,
Nightwing. Peter said this when Jesse was actually speaking, and I noticed it in the chat. He was answering questions back and forth, and Jesse had read his letter, his corporate, what I would call his corporate exit letter,
yeah,
and those you it's wise when you leave to leave on a good note.
yeah,
And what he said there is that he was afraid. He said that Jesse could destroy him. Yeah, Peter
right,
is Nightwing. And Jesse was like, I would never destroy you. And or something along those lines. I'm paraphrasing.
yeah.
Don't quote me.
That's what.
The my memory, head injury. I'm gonna do the best that I can to recall what happened. I've taken notes. I've literally taken notes and written things down so that I can bring them up better. And he made the comment that Jesse could destroy me. And this was something that Peter felt, that I believe Jesse was not even aware of. That,
Right.
and I think that this, having counseled people for 20 years and doing this mitigation with people in some form or another for over 20 years, this is a common thing. You'll see this in marriage counseling, family counseling, where one person is afraid for whatever reason to tell the whole story. And they have to be in a, that's one thing that if you're a counselor, you're counseling somebody, and you don't do a good job of this, if you don't do a good job of making the people that's sitting in front of you counseling, if you don't make them feel safe, like that they can tell you, and one, you're not going to go tell everybody, and two, that you actually keep them safe, physically safe, then it's hard to get to the truth. And I believe that I've seen this. I have seen this. I don't work for an FPV company. I'm definitely not speaking for my friend Skip here, and I'm not speaking for Peter. I don't really know him. I know of him, but I don't really know him. But I have seen a lot where people are like, if I tick Jesse off, then I can hang up ever working in the whoop industry again. And or if I'll put the onus on me. If so many times people will leave the church or they'll get mad or something, and when I finally find out what happened, I'm like, well, why didn't you tell me? And they were like, because you're the pastor, and I was afraid of X or Y or Z, or that, you don't, you have this, people tell me that I have this air of confidence and authority that intimidates them. And I'm like, man, I'm trying to be the goofy dude that cuts up and makes everybody laugh. But
Right.
you have to be aware of how other people are seeing you. And I truly think in the Peter situation, I do think that he had a legitimate concern of what
Well,
would happen to him if he told the whole world his story. Now I know there's some other things that's personal in all of that that can't
Yeah.
come out and all of that. And I think that was big of Jesse of not going there tonight. But if you
Well,
are
I
watching,
want
and let me wrap this up, Skip. If you are
to. Okay.
watching and you're a big name in FPV, then understand if people look up to you, they're most likely intimidated by you in some way or another. And it's hard for them to tell you the complete truth because of that fear of what will happen. So, you know, if you're a top racer, or you're a big name, or you're a big YouTuber, or you're a leader in a company or whatever, understand that if you want to get the real story, sometimes you have to get down off of the pedestal. Listen to this part that other people put you on. You might not have put yourself there, but if another person puts you on that pedestal, you got to come down off of that before they're ever going to share with you what they need to know. Sorry, didn't want to get preachy here, but go ahead.
Now, okay, so I can kind of relate to Peter in a way, and put myself in his shoes. When you're in an FPV company, I'm a builder at 533. I also do packing and shipping orders. I help with ideas. I do a whole lot in 533 company, and I put a lot of effort, ideas, and work into the 533 company. And I also help with tech, drone tech, pit stop, whatever. And you make these relationships as you go through this company and the hobby that you enjoy. So those relationships to you become golden, kind of like friends, and you're making the same relationships that the company has already made relationships with. So when I hear that him say that Jesse could destroy me, those relationships are so important to be able to talk to these people in the hobby and everything. And they look towards you, because a lot of people grow in this hobby, and they stick with these people as a relationship to grow in this hobby, and they rely off these people. So I can see where he's coming from by him saying that he can destroy those relationships by just saying, well, he screwed up and done this, or done
Mm-hmm.
that. And it's such a small community to where it would take something, very simple to really hurt somebody's reputation and keep them from going on to another FPV community, or doing it, or even doing it themselves.
Yeah, yeah. Uh,
Hey, what's up, Noah? Nice to see you in the chat. Uh,
McShaky
I
says
hate
that.
that drama.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to
I
say.
hate that drama. The thing is left. Also, thing bringing me back. Bahaha. Uh, are those the spinning ones? I believe Jude is having. I mean, Tobias is having a conversation with somebody else. Hey, if anything has brought ZDZ back around, so I consider a win. Love 533. Yeah, if anybody wants to join our chat, we have a live stream, and we have a Discord that you can
Mm-hmm.
join. And
You're
we
welcome to
can
come
go
on.
ahead.
Yep. Just
I'll
share
go
your
ahead
audio
and
and video.
I'll go ahead and paste that in the chat.
But
Uh,
we are going to remain civil. We're not going to
yeah,
get into
absolutely.
personal attacks on people. That's
Yeah,
the one thing.
yeah,
So,
yeah. And we're going to keep it. I don't. We don't want a bunch of cussing and stuff like that neither. So
someone
we
says
are
that
on.
Nightwing doesn't like confrontation. There's a lot of people that confrontation, man, they get severe anxiety over it. And, you know, that type of stuff leads people to substance abuse and things like that. So there's a lot of things. Not everybody. and I don't mean this arrogant at all, but not everybody communicates well. Not everybody speaks to other people for a living like I do, and not everybody's well spoken like Jesse. And but because somebody isn't doesn't mean they don't have a voice. And those of us, and I said us, that when we enter a room, we tend to dominate conversations. If we're not careful, we'll step all over the people hiding in the corners. And I literally have to be careful of that on a daily basis to shut my trap and listen to people. And that's not easy to do, especially if you're an outgoing extrovert type person.
All right. So if you want to join, there's that link in the chat there. You're welcome to join and chime in. Uh, so I did want to talk about the 16,000 thing. You know, that is a lot of money for sure. I don't know what the expenses would go to on $16,000. Maybe the venue. Maybe it was a really good venue or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. But I don't know. Did
Give me a
did
moment to adjust chat.
From what I understand, did pilots? Did you take it that pilots got rewarded money on that?
I my understand. I heard this before IO drama ever popped up. Was that pilots were promised money for winning, prize pool,
Yeah.
and got nothing. That's what I was told. So
I mean, that's the way I took it on the stream. That's how I took it on the stream. I didn't know uh, if that's what they were talking about or what event they were specifically talking about. But I do know, $16,000 is no small sum to go towards an event.
see now
Uh,
Timmytron and Pacific
okay, so
North Whoop both say $16,000 is not much money and can easily be spent on an event. Boy, I hope
okay,
not. I hope not, because and it may be different in Tennessee than it is in California or wherever other people are holding events, but here, if our event costs us $4,000, $5,000, I will be surprised. But we are getting some good deals on some stuff, and I couldn't tell you how much it costs for a venue somewhere else.
Jesse says all pilots know there is no cash prize at Tiny Whoop Open. So that's what he's talking about. Tiny Whoop Open,
Okay.
I think.
Yeah.
At TWO, is that
Yeah.
Tiny Whoop Open?
Yeah. Well,
And
from pilots, and I'm not going to get into their names, but pilots were saying at IO. So I made comment to Jesse that there was quite a bit of talk at IO, and Skip can confirm it that there was, and not all of it was Tiny Who related. Matter of fact, I didn't know about Tiny Who until after IO, but I did hear from pilots that they were told that there would be prize money, and there was none. Now, who did that telling? I don't know.
well, that's IO. That
Not.
he's talking about Tiny
No.
Whoop Open.
The Tiny Whip
Yeah.
Open. Yes, that's what they were talking about at
Okay.
IO. Jim Fan, if you need to either unmute your mic or something, because you're logged in here, and we want you to join the live stream and the chat. but we need you to be a part of it and not just take up space on the screen, because
Yep.
we're
Oh,
not trying
look,
to advertise for Jim Fan here in the middle of this recap. So, as I say, there has never been a cash prize at TinyWhoop Opium for the podium. There was a vote the first year. This is from TinyWhoop. Pilot consensus was to put prize money into the event. Okay. See, I have no. There was Timmytron there for a minute. I have I have no dog in that hunt. All that I can say is what I was hearing. And what I was hearing from people was their perspective. And perspective gives you perception, and your perception gives you is your reality for most people. So it doesn't make it right. But that's what people were saying. And stuff like that, it builds. And, it causes hurt feelings and anger, duress, conflict, whatever. So we want to encourage you guys.
Jim,
If y'all do want to join, you're more than welcome to join. Jim Fan
Jim,
just moved.
whenever you get your microphone working, you're welcome to join back. But we are offering this to be involved. You got to be involved if you're going to be
Yep.
in the Discord
Yeah.
on the live stream.
Yeah. If you're going to take up the space in there from somebody else, we want you to. I seen Timmytron pop in there for a minute, and yeah, you can run them economically, but it depends on the circumstance and the features of the event. Yeah, I'm sure in Australia or even over in Denver or something like that in Colorado, I'm sure that you know venue is the number one expense for us. That and a prize pool. We are offering a prize pool. Don't know what it is yet.
Thanks for the sub.
Thank you for the sub, Lucky. And if you guys will take all your frustration out on that like button for me, it does help. He fat fingered the link. Look, Lamona's there. How's it going, man? Brother, I think you did about as good a job as anybody could have done in that situation. So, yeah.
Well, I got one suggestion, and it would be have somebody to respond more to the comments. That's the only suggestion that I would have, because there was a lot of questions in the comments that I think that didn't get answered. Which I think you guys done as best you can. I think Casey could have probably used some of the comments for some of the questions also.
Casey.
Be,
Casey.
Is that was
Jace.
that not his name?
Jace.
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 Jace. Jace could have used the comments for some of his questions, because he seemed like he ran out of questions there at the end for sure.
Yeah.
Either that or he gave up. I don't know if he ran out or just gave up.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Greenhorn
if
said
this was a match, he definitely tapped out.
Yeah, I agree that he did get angry. And but the topics and the things that were brought up, hey, you just got to expect when you're dealing with conflict, people are going to get angry. And all of that. And Greenhorn says nobody read the super chats. Well, I want to tell you, let's see if that works here. Y'all start super chatting and we'll see if I can keep up with it. How about that? But I'm kidding. I think they did good. There were a ton of emails. People were commenting and didn't address. Yeah, there were like 300 people on the stream at one time, and yeah, orchestrating it. I think you guys, and it was obvious to me as a person who watches people. It was obvious to me you were trying, and I could tell with your body language at one time you were struggling with a balance and all of that, and I noticed it if other people didn't notice it, and I appreciate it.
Well,
Got some
anytime you
good
got to
news.
come on live and deal with community drama, I say it's not easy, but I did like that you didn't allow people to talk over themselves.
It's insane!
That was one thing that was uh,
It's
whoop the
insane!
world, holy blinker.
Yeah,
Uh,
thanks for the super chat, North Pacific Northwest with a 420. Whoop the world. And June Loco, a member here at the channel, says holy blinker. I'm gonna like both of those, and so far I'm 100%. Let's see if I remain that way through the end of the night. But am I shilling? Yes, yes I am. I'm a shill. Call me that, whatever.
So I don't know about you, but I haven't had any like personal experiences that were negative between either party uh, on We Bleed or Jesse. Whenever I've done business with Jesse, he's always been respectful. We've bounced back and forth with ideas and everything. And how do you like them, Lamone? What do you think about them? 15-gram whoops that I built you.
Has it helped you to
But
be a
yeah,
better pilot, or are you still a
you
crap
know what I
pilot?
wish? I
What's
wish we could all collaborate. Like I want to emphasize this more than anything. I know there's a lot of drama out there and everything, and people
wow?
got to be healed, but we have to support each other in American industries, American manufacturers. This has to be something
Hang
we
on a
do
second, Skip.
together.
Right now, you can't see this, but Infinity Loops just gifted 20 memberships. So
Oh wow.
the membership thing is going over and over and over and over again, and I want people to hear what you're saying. Thank you, thank you, thank you to Infinity Loops for gifting 20 memberships. And I said that I couldn't keep up with the super chats, but I am going to read Tobias Yoder, Philiblaster, Sleepy FPV, Mape, Jason Levin, Night Train FPV, Derpy Hooves, Jake FPV, Almanac, Tobias Yoder. I guess it's another one. He comments in the middle of it. Space Gadget, Fly High, Equity, Mr. Man, Maddie's Drone World, another trucking FPV channel, Exiled Scoob, Jesus, like it, like it. Kiz Bartlett, Dexter Wells, and Cowboy with a Camera. You guys were gifted memberships from Infinity Loops. Big thank you to Heads from Infinity Loops. Holy cow. Sorry for the alerts. Much love, Pastor. Good night, everyone. Thank you so much, Heads. I appreciate it. And hopefully we.
Thanks for the sub!
And hey, thank you for the subs. Love it. Love it. Love it. Keep it coming. That's out of control. Well, it's actually good for me. Don't stop it. Yeah, yeah. Let it keep coming. So 90 percenters. Yeah, Infinity Legend. So
But no, I want to go on about what I was saying here
yeah,
is,
take back over. There you go. It
when
was
it comes
important.
Yeah, it definitely is important. When it comes to the end of the day, friendly bantering and stuff like that, I think is healthy, and friendly competition is healthy. But also, when it comes to our FPV community, uh, I don't know if you guys have watched Congress here lately, but things are cinching down on the drone community, and we're going to have to actually work together to keep this stuff alive. I don't know if you
Mm-hmm.
guys realize that or not. We're going to need everybody we can get
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, because they're talking about putting in like a three-part verification on just being able to fly. And can you imagine how that's going to go down at a race or whatever? I know indoors with whoop racing, it's going to be a whole lot easier because we don't have to worry about anything as for the FAA. But these industries, these American industries, need to work together for sure
Mm-hmm.
to make things happen.
Yep. Yeah, and there used to be the main video on my channel, and it's a video that I don't get any monetization from because I use uh, Madison Rison's Star Spangled Banner. But it's uh, why don't we focus on the things that unite us instead of the things that divide us? That has been my motto in life for a long time, and I think that it's important in this hobby that we do that, but also I don't think we will we will ever get there unless we have good communication. And you know, sometimes it hurts uh, to communicate. Some people hate it and all of that. But
It's insane!
thank you for the $20 super chat because we love PhatPastor. All right, thank you, McFlies.
It,
That was nice of Heads. Bitter Root was very nice, very generous. Wait, do you mean what? Wait, what do you mean three parts? Tobias says.
okay, so what they're going to be having, so from what I understand, is they want three electronic verifications saying where the pilot is, what the pilot is doing, and what is their whole destination, or not destination, but their whole flight path. So they want to know everything, and they mentioned nothing about remote ID, but they want to know everything about what this pilot is intentions and what they're going to do and where they're at and where they're taking off from and everything. They want to know everything before you even take off.
Mm-hmm.
So they want a three-part uh, digital verification to even take off any drone.
Yeah, and if we're if things continue like they're going, we may end up being relegated to flying pretty much indoors if we're going to be racing and stuff like that. So, Bitterroot says that we should be good to each other. It's mostly grown men playing with toys. So take your taking yourself so seriously, egos need to be released. Well, it is for some people. I'm going to let you guys into a little bit of information that maybe you don't care about. You might not care about it, but Skip knows about some of this. People call me, people message me. There are recovering alcoholics and recovering addicts that are in our hobby, and they are using FPV just like there are people. I mean, Ciotti was pretty good and really good about putting out how FPV was cathartic to his mental health. Well, there's other people that it's not necessarily their mental health. PTSD could be considered under mental health, but I know people that are flying that it helps them with their PTSD. I know people that are recovering alcoholics, that are recovering drug addicts, that are recovering meth addicts, and things like that. And we have a tendency of being so strong in our personalities because let's face it, people that are it takes a special I put it this way, it takes a special person to stay in this hobby. You either got to have something a little wrong with you, or you've got this ambition and you got this drive that keeps pushing you forward, and people like that, people like us, we're often loud, we're often opinionated, and things like that, and it is more than grown adults playing with toys. This is some people's, like Jesse spoke earlier, this is his livelihood. This is Zotex. I don't think it's his only source of income, but it's their livelihood. It's, Jesse said it tonight. It's here, in which note is it in? It's in my notes here that, that TinyWhoop helps feed his son and helps take care of his family. So it is more, it's definitely more to Jesse than men playing with toys. It's more to me than playing with toys. When you become a race director and you drop over time thousands of dollars into gear just to be able to run a race, it's more than just going out and ripping a 3-inch in your backyard. So we need to remember that. It is, and I don't think it's healthy for us as a community to continue to keep saying we're just a bunch of men playing with toys, because it's not. Evan Turner, when he was 16 years old, before that, but when he was 16, he become champion. He made a business out of it. He went on DRL and become the DRL champion. Tommy Tobias was the last that I heard. He's filming for Deadliest Catch. And it started with FPV. So it is, it's like Lamone says. He says, yeah, for me, FPV is a good chunk of my life. Not income-wise, but life-wise. That's right. I mean, it becomes, if you love it, it becomes part of who you are. And Mike Chin says, I've worked in FPV for a decade. Yeah. It is more.
It's insane!
Thank you. $33. Tiny Who, I love y'all. It's been a long night, very exhausted, raveling all that again. The pain in my body is really taking me now. All those emotions stirred up, all the damaged nerve ends, and wait, it's gone.
And I'm
And
down to clear another day. Yeah.
hang in there,
Yes,
brother.
sir. I hope you feel better and get to feeling better, buddy.
Hey,
Yeah.
whatever you believe, just send some good words over to our friend 8-Bit today. He's he needs it. Let's just say that. And when
Yeah.
and I'm not one to kick somebody when they're down. So thank you for the $33 super chat, 8-Bit. Thank you for your membership. I hope you have a good night. Take care, man.
When I was reading the whole Tiny Who page, I seen a reoccurring theme that I don't think anybody touched base on. and that is credit. We're getting credit where credit is due. There's a lot of people that put in ideas in this FPV hobby that doesn't get credit for those ideas,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
and probably never even sees a dime for it.
Mm-hmm.
There's people inspired from other people, and they take those inspirations and innovate on it and come up with new ideas, and give them to other companies, and necessarily don't even get paid for it.
Mm-hmm.
And that seems to be a common thing,
Thanks for
and
the sub.
I don't want it to be a common thing because that's the Chinese model.
Yep. Thank you,
uh
Scott, for the sub. Yeah.
I think people need to get more credit where it's due to these ideas
Yeah.
to make things happen in these companies.
Yep. And McShaky says to 8-bit, 8-bit, you're a great frame designer, dude. And Lamone says, let's go 8-bit. Keep it up. That's right, man. Rise up. When you get to feeling better, rise up and meet me in the air, man. That's what it's about. Like Open Racer, Lucky says. So I don't fully know what Open Racer is, but yeah, dude, let's go with it. And Mike Chin says, I worked for TinyWhoop from 2016 to 2020. I'm keeping my mouth shut and out of this, but I hear the victims and I feel them. Yep.
Yeah, well, that's what touched base with me whenever I read all that. I did read a whole lot of it. I decided not to comment because I don't have any hard feelings towards either. Personally, I don't. I hate to see that people are having problems with companies and stuff like that, and negative thoughts going out towards the companies they work for. We want, in a perfect world, we want everything to be like a friendship and a relationship to all grow in this community. But it's a job,
Mm-hmm.
and there's shitty parts of jobs,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes you have to deal with it. I
Yep.
think a lot of it, people are stretched real thin, and there's not a lot of money that, or there is a bunch of money that goes towards this, but like, I don't know if you know, but most of these companies in America are ran in their basements.
Mm-hmm. Their margins are so small.
Yeah. And it's so hard to move
Small
out of that
margins.
into a brick and mortar store. Like, it
Yeah.
almost doesn't even make sense to go to a brick and mortar
Mm-hmm.
store.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
and that's, I mean, that's what I mean by working together. There's gonna come a point in time to where you're growing out of your basement, and you need to have a building, and you might have to take two of these companies and put them together. You know,
How's it going, Apache?
and because it's going to take working together to make some of these companies very successful.
I think most of
Uh,
us here have talked to you at one point or another, Mike, in some form of a return or tech support or whatever. I remember it was you that walked me through getting my Tango 2 actually to work after something. I think it was an updated module or something in the back of it or something. But Mike has been there. He's done the support and stuff, and he said that he ran shipping for Hilly Nation from his garage for 2 years during COVID. And a lot of these people are Zotec's running We Bleed out of his garage. Tyler Brennan started off with a company that he ended up selling for millions of dollars by just selling parts out of his basement. So, Wind Chill says Tiny Bleed. Man, that's what needs to happen. And you know, I know y'all might not realize this, or we might not realize this, but I think tonight was the beginning of dialogue that will lead to some healing. It's not going to happen tonight. You know, something, and there are some relationships that are broken that will not be fixed. You know, we know in our drones, and if y'all have been on the channel, you've seen this thing before. This thing has a bad ESC. There's no way around it. It has a bad ESC, and until the ESC is replaced, this is not going to fly. And, you know, if it's never replaced and if it's never addressed, then it's not going to fly. And some relationships just need a new ESC, need a new flight controller, or, you know, some components aren't going to work well with each other. That's just how it is. You don't put an 8S ESC on a TinyWhoop. I mean, it's just some things are not going to work together. Seg, by the way, buddy, I got the trophies today. Thank you much. Thank you much. Thank you much. If
Or
you,
they might work together. You just got to fix the pin out and the wiring.
yeah, if you send them to Skip, you know, if you go through an exhaustive process, you might get them working. So, Skip, if you want to handle this for about 30 seconds, I'll go and grab a couple of those trophies. I was wanting to show them anyway tonight. You got it for a minute?
Yeah, we've got
You got-
major races coming up, guys.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, as far as the stream goes, some of it was good for it to get out, and I'm hoping both parties come together. Maybe even if they don't like work with each other or whatever, I hope they both succeed and move up in this, because we need them to. Because they each have their own part of the hobby that's very important. I mean, I don't know many Whoop pilots that don't want to run with a pinch cam. Pinch cam is super popular, and TinyWhoop pinch cam is almost a must in one of our builds, and then and then I don't know anyone that's got some really good sports pilots batteries like we bleed. Those 465, what I call Virginia Slims. Those things right there are great for sports pilots. So
Skip and
they
his
all
Virginia
have
Slims.
they all have their own little thing
Cheers.
that we need for sure.
There we go. All right.
That's what that's kind of what I wanted to see rounded up in that. But go ahead, Pastor.
There is the open class first place trophy and the UDL first place trophy. But let me show you something that we do that I don't know very many people do it, but we do it. And big shout out to Seg. He's going to be Seg Tech Maker is going to be making trophies for the championship. So that's fourth place. UDL and open class. We give out fourth place trophies. So our fourth place, as some people insist it being called, where they have to lay on the floor when they receive their trophy. Isn't that the thing, Skip? Fourth place?
Yeah, fourth. Yeah,
Fourth.
If you get fourth place, you got to take your podium picture in the floor. That's the new rule that we've came up with here in East Tennessee, Middle Tennessee, and Western Carolinas. So, and then
Everyone-
we're also implementing a new system here. I don't know. Some of you guys might be able to adopt this. But so what we got here is
Oh yeah.
Whoop tokens. So whenever you go to a Whoop race, sometimes you win prizes that you don't need, and you're like, "Huh, that's another frame. I don't need that." So we have tokens you can win at your races during heats and during races, and even helping out. You can win a token. So these are $1 tokens,
That's right.
and what this does is whoever has the most tokens at the end gets to pick their own prize. That way, you don't get something you don't want. And then, if a sponsor wants to throw in and sponsor a race and throw in on the prizes, they can get, this is 100 tokens, and so it'd be $100 to throw in on the prizes,
Yep.
and it helps everybody out and pays for some of the prizes.
Yep. And TinyWhoop just said that he posted on the Tiny Who group asking for genuine feedback if anyone has thoughts. I noticed, and I don't know if you saw it, but I noticed in the chat that Jeff was like, "Unblock me," and we can, you know, I I was taking that as unblock me from the social medias, and we can start a dialogue. We can talk. Um, so um, so yeah, I mean that's that's not easy to do on because social media, it's very easy for people to be hateful on social media. It's a lot easier for somebody to call you names or whatever behind a keyboard than it is to do it face to face. And so that's a big step. Tiny Whoop said that he didn't block Jeff. Okay.
Yeah, there's something missing with social media and text and all
Mm-hmm.
this, and that's expression.
Yep.
It's hard to read somebody's expression because a lot that's important here. That's why we do these live streams. Is you get to see our faces
Mm.
and see how we actually think.
Yep.
Or you can read a lot by what somebody's saying, whether they are genuine or not, and that's what's very important. And I think that's that was important about this live stream is we actually got to see the emotion in all this and see people being genuine on how they feel about certain issues.
Yeah. And you know, Jesse said he didn't block anyone. I don't
So
know if whether he is blocked or not. That's that's not my call to make either way. Uh, I'm just telling you what I saw him post, and you know, at some point, people are going to have to talk or just agree to disagree and stay away from each other. Some people are never going to get along, and I hope that that's not where we're at. Um,
yeah,
um, so let me ask the chat. Let me see if I can do a poll. Um, I probably can. Let me grab it over here. Um, I'm gonna do a
we
poll.
need more we need more lives like back when we first started doing this FPV thing. More tea, more races, more events, news, updates, all live. Yeah, I think we need to do more events also. Uh, Not enough done for sure. And that's one reason why we're holding the Southeast Whoop uh, or a Southeast Micro Drone Championship.
All right, so I posted a poll up in the chat for you guys, and it's just a simple question: Did this tonight help any at all? I'm not talking about
Yeah,
just what we're doing here. I'm talking about us, Lamone, everybody. Jesse's willingness to show up, Jesse, Jace's willingness to be there, Zotek's willingness to say, it's not wise for me to be there. you know, and you know what? It's smart to know if you're not good at social media. And I'm not speaking for Jeff or anything on that, but some people are just not. I'm not. You know, if there was a campaign or if there was a group, and I'm going to tell you, there very well could be a group of people that I've pastored over 20 years, if they all decided to get together on Facebook and all of them aired everything that I ever did as a pastor that they didn't like and everything, it would be difficult because you know I'm not good at I call it socialist media, but somehow YouTube's different. So for me, uh, but so yeah,
So, does anybody in the chat have anything that they took away from the live stream that they thought was important or thought wasn't touched on? Be sure to leave a comment below. We'll talk about it.
yeah. All right, now let
But
me
yeah,
let me read this right here because I think this. Oh, where are we at? Went to the wrong one. There we go. Wow, what happened? Okay, give me a second. I've messed up. Come on, show
I've been
me
trying to get outside peeps to FPV, and it's dwindled down to a small videos only for most part, anyways.
Did I mess it up? Yeah, I think I probably did. All right.
Yeah, I think I'm going to get back into testing stuff on social media, on YouTube and stuff like that. So or get heavier into it. I really like. I don't know if you guys seen Evan's last ESC test. It was pretty crazy. I don't know if
Yeah, it was. It was actually pretty cool. I liked the video. I'm trying to fix the
I
chat real quick.
I was involved in it, and I have to say that that was pretty wild to see those ESCs or those drones just full throttle. And yeah, I I'm way better at making wild stuff happen than a live stream. But
Okay.
yeah, that's just the kind of generation I came from.
Well,
Did
here's
tonight help? There's the poll. You want to read it?
yep. 76% of people said it did help at all, which is good. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
I had to cut it short. Let me. There was something I saw here. TinyWhoop says I haven't blocked anyone, and then right below it in the chat, Jake FPV says at TinyWhoop you blocked the We Bleed account from the Facebook group. Is what he was referring to, I believe. See, people's perspective. You know, there can be three people at an event, and they all witness the same event, and they can all three have different testimonies or different opinions of what actually happened. And in all three of their minds, they are completely correct. And that this doesn't mean that the parts that they contradict each other in, that one is intentionally lying, but where they contradict it, they both of them can't be true. And that's our perspective becomes our reality. So, you know,
Yeah, and you might be like you could be on a total different page than somebody else than what you're thinking. So, and then you could have people trying to save face, and I'm not naming any names on anything, but and that can go both ways on each side,
yeah,
because some people might make a comment on Tiny Who and regret making the comment, but it's too late, you
yeah.
know.
And Jesse's response to that was that the Tiny Whoop group is only pilots. It's closed to pages. So if it's like our Southeast Championship, it wouldn't be allowed because it's a group, it's a page, it's not an individual. That's what he's saying there. If we don't do this thing live, it will just be us and no growth. Yeah, and you have to work with each other, and you know, and I'll say this: there's a lot of this in our hobby, and a
Thanks for the
whole
sub.
thank you, Tack, for the sub, and you know, for me as a race coordinator and me as a person, give me somebody like this guy right over here that when he shows up, he's going to be buttholes and elbows, getting stuff done, doing stuff that other people said they would do, that he ends up doing. Give me somebody like that all day long, other than somebody that tells me everything that they did for the hobby and how important they are for the hobby and all of that. And, you know, not that that stuff is bad, but, you know, what's the saying in business? Money talks and bullcrap walks. And, you know, I think it becomes evident. What IO is, it's why I love it. IO is one of those places where your talk has to be demonstrated. You can sit and tell all of your buddies in your area that you're a pro pilot. I'm a pro pilot. I'm a pro pilot. You know, uh, LVB batteries sponsors me. I'm a pro pilot. I'm a pro pilot. Well, then show up and beat somebody. You know, because that IO will put you to the test. It will show you and everybody else what you're made of. I'm not a fast pilot. I don't claim to be a fast. I've never claimed to be a fast pilot. I'm one of those that I'd rather coach because I can't think as fast as Evan Turner flies. I just can't. I mean, and so at 51, I'm not ever going to be there. But I can help other people fly. I can get in there and I can run the red hanger and see to it that people get good races, and they got a fair shot. So whatever it is you can do, just do it, and hopefully, 70% of you guys are saying that this is a good thing. IO is a networking event as much as it is a racing event. Yep, it is, but it's also a racing event. So I mean, that's the thing. In the networking, if you go to IO and you work your butt off or you race your butt off, you've been grinding on the sim and you race your hind end off, people are going to start to notice you. And McShaky says Evan is an alien. I,
Nope, he's not. I made sure he wasn't. If you want to know whether he's an alien or not, he is definitely human. If you look at,
Skip poked him with a pin and he bled. So
yeah, he is a chubby cheek little kid that grew up doing it when he was in diapers and just freaking became really good at it.
yeah, Mike Chin said he met Trappy at IO, and yeah, you know, I met Carl Zal, somebody that I'd worked with for ever since HDzero's been out, just about. Met him in person, so that's it's a good thing that you can go and meet people and all of that. Let me look at my notes and make sure that there's nothing else that I wanted to cover on the recap. Um,
Oh wow.
Trappy slept in my RV. You got to be careful with that. Yep. Evan is a down to earth guy.
Absolutely.
Yep. Do do you guys think? Because I heard some people say it at the beginning of it. We've got an underground drone league here, so we got Isaac here. Uh,
Welcome, Isaac.
just reached out to AK and asked. I'm sure he would share. Yeah. You guys are welcome to pop on if you want to. Let me throw
Yeah,
the.
I think he's replying to Lucky's comment.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I'm wondering what JP uh, what AK said about JP calling his boss. Yeah, I don't know anything about that at all, so I can't comment on that myself. Uh, I mean, JC Perkins calls my boss all the time, so
I wonder if he calls mine. Mm, think about it. Think about it. Think about it. All right. All right. There's the link in the chat if you want to. Um, do you guys think that Jesse and Jace actually wanted and expected to make things right? Do you think that they came into this thinking that they would leave with a better understanding of each other and fences would be mended?
I don't know. I mean, it seemed like they had some personal turmoil, or at least Jace had some personal turmoil between Jesse. And if Jesse had some towards him, he's good at hiding it if he did. And which I mean, a lot of people that are in that have big names in the business kind of need to hide uh, any, ill ill thoughts that they have and try to make it work out. And I've learned that about the top dogs in this community. Uh, they want everything to actually kind of be positive at all times and try to make things work out. Uh, so I think that that's one of the important things about being a leader in these companies is trying to get along with everybody. And it's a hard thing to do. It really is a hard thing to do. Especially, I mean, I've seen people make stupid comments on emails like I see why you're running out of daddy's basement and stuff like that. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
dude, you say that to me, that's almost fighting words.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, dude, I brought this company up from when I was a little kid, and you're gonna patronize me like that, and when you don't really know what it takes to open, uh, because you got to go to city officials, and like
Mm-hmm.
they sometimes count our hobby as a industry, and I don't know if you guys have ever looked at uh, not just commercial property, but what's that other one? Industrial property.
Yeah.
Industrial property is like four times the amount of a normal property, and that's what they classify our hobby as, industrial, but it should follow under commercial. So it's even hard to grow a company real big without almost taking a chance of losing everything you have. And there's a lot. I say Jesse has had everything on the line at once in in products, and felt like he was breaking even at times. So, uh, you know, there's a lot of times that they probably wondered how they're going to pay everybody 3 months ahead if they kept going the way they were going because of how tariffs are and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
and how this hobby pans out
Yeah.
sometimes.
And that there is and that was something that Johnny Five got into, and I think a lot of people just missed him on that when he kept talking about the HR side and the business. There is a business side of this, and you can't get past that. If these guys are going to, if Skip is going to sit in a building, wherever it's at, doesn't matter whose house it is, and he's going to build tiny trainers so that you can fly them and all of that, then somebody's got to pay Skip. Somebody's got to get the parts, and all of that takes some work. And you know, so we have to take that into consideration, that there is a business side of this. And I know from firsthand that there's a lot of people, like I said earlier, there's a lot of this, but when it comes down to actually doing something, they don't. And so many times in my life, this is one of the things I shared with Jesse. I step on people's toes unintentionally because this is how I've been ever since I was a kid. Well, just get out of my way and let me do it. If you're just going to sit here and talk about it or complain about it, or, at some point we got to quit planning and we got to start doing. We got to quit talking about it and we got to start putting up gates, or we're never going to have a race. At some point, you got to charge your batteries. Somebody's got to make up the trophies. If you don't buy them from Seg Maker or Seg FPV, then you got to print them on your printer back here or something. If people don't do that, it don't get done. Now, to answer my question earlier that I asked, Jesse said before the podcast, I told a friend I was confident that we would reconcile. I have no beef with Jace. And Seg answered the question, said, I think Jesse did, but not Jace. So there, yeah, what
Well, if you build a persona about somebody in your head
was it?
and think, they're so-called fake or whatever, I can see
Wasn't
where
confident. He said he wasn't
it's
confident.
hard
Sorry, I misspoke.
because it sounded like to me that Jace had the persona that Jesse was being fake,
Mm-hmm.
and it sounded to
100%.
me that Jesse was willing to do whatever it took, or say whatever it took
Mm-hmm.
to try to turn that,
Yep.
and and wasn't successful at it.
And I don't think there was anything. I don't think there was
Yeah,
anything Jesse could have said tonight. I don't think there was no words that Jesse could have said tonight that Jace, AK, Isaac, and others were going to hear or believe. Now, maybe they heard it, but believe it. And see, if you go back and you read it, that's their argument. That's why some relationships get to a place that the best thing to do is just to separate, just to get away from each other, quit talking to each other, quit doing business with each other, and agree to
but
disagree.
also,
What's
that's
that?
hard to do.
It is.
That's hard
That's conflictual, and it
because you have
causes, yes, it causes just like what we had tonight, but also you can't stay in a bad situation. You can't, and see, there's the rub. And that was the thing that I read that was a common point from most of the people was, I tried to talk to them. I tried to talk to Jesse, or we tried to work it out. And Jesse's like, but we worked that out. And then I was invited back to Whooptopia. So I don't understand. And then AK was like, yeah, but then you did something again. The reason why you was asked back is because we talked, and I'm using my own words here, but you used a little bit of verbal judo on me and got me to believe that you had changed and everything was going to be different, and it wasn't.
well.
And
I have
that's
a
what they're
suggestion.
saying. So I don't. I
I have,
I love AK, and I love Zotek. I love Jesse. I love this hobby, and we all need to try to focus on the things that we have in common. But the things that we don't have in common with one another, we just need to I think you guys can tell, unless something dramatic happens in one of our lives. Me and Bot Grinder, nothing against you, Bot, we're probably not going to be the best of buddies that's hanging out in the bar together. You know, it's just probably not going to, and it's asinine, it's immature to think anything else, and it doesn't make me right and Bot wrong, or vice versa. It's just the personalities aren't going to mix. You can't put the water and the oil together, and you can mix it all day long, and they're never going to come together.
well, I have a suggestion, and I mean, you guys seen, gun shows, flea markets, and everything where they bring all these products together, uh, and they have nothing to do with each other, and they're all in competition with each other, and they're still able to be in the same room. So this is my suggestion: is sometimes you got to put some action in.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of times that these companies are trying to capitalize on a big event when they can hold an event themselves and and show how they would like an event to be held and show everybody a good time. Sometimes you just got to show everybody a good time and have a good experience with everybody
Mm-hmm.
and just capitalize on everybody being involved.
Yep.
I know that's going to be a hard thing to accomplish, but if you can, I mean, that's what IO is kind of about. Is about uh, every everybody being involved internationally.
Yeah.
Uh, and if you could do that somehow uh, with whoops and make it kind of different, as in like, hey, this is uh, a a big event for you to come and show off your products
Yeah.
and and uh and we'll have a race and all that, you know, you might be able to do something like that. I don't know. I think you have to take action though. Somehow you have to take action more than words.
Yeah. You EUCNFPV, I don't know how to pronounce that, says that Pastor and Bot would be so cool. Maybe, it might be the perfect thing. Um, you know, I, he's welcome on the show if he wants to come on. But I don't think we'd be the best of friends hanging out and all that together. But
Who's that?
somebody said me and Bot Grinder.
Oh,
The
Parker.
problem is that there's never be pure separation because of how small the community is, and many of us, with customer supports on both sides. Yeah, it is a small community, and here's what advice that I would give to Jesse, to Zotek, to anybody out there. We all know Bardwell. He does something on just about all of his streams that is, in my opinion, very smart, and it has been crucial to him getting the support that he's got. Is he always talks? He calls them plebs. The plebeians, the the little guys. The little guys are as important as the big guys. And we need to we need to remember that. We need to get back to to teaching kids how to fly, teenagers how to fly, and being patient with them. I see this in Velocidrome. I see it a lot. Somebody's putting along and they're new and they're in a race with other pilots, that they get done with their 3 laps for this before this person gets done with 1, and they're so quick to just restart the race. Don't do it. Let them finish. Always remember that we all started somewhere. At one point in time, we did good to fly through a gate. And I remember the first time I flew through a gate with an FPV drone. It was the Inductrix, and I made the gate out of party balloons. And when I successfully flew through it, man, I thought, wow, what an achievement. And we need to keep, if you're a fast racer, you know, and all, yes, I know if you're a fast racer, you don't want noobs in there holding you back and everything, but we still got to take time for them. And I think that's what made Bardwell so, I might be wrong, that's made Bardwell so stable to have as many followers as he has, is because he answers people's emails most of the time, and he always, or almost always, takes the time to acknowledge the little guys. And yeah, June Loco says he still owns an FPV Inductrix. Yeah. So yeah, thank you guys. If you have any more questions, pop them in the chat here. We are we're here tonight to try to help, to recap.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to wrap up soon myself,
Yeah,
Pastor.
I don't think we're finished with these conversations, and
Yeah.
I'll take this up with my boss, like you, Marty. Yep, that's right. And part 2, yeah, yeah, communication. There's a line from Star Wars. I'm geeking out on y'all. When it's on one of the first 3, it's like communication disruption means only one thing: war. And when we quit talking, and when we quit communicating, or when we shut down people from having lines of communication, get ready, because it's coming. Conflict
Well,
is coming.
I challenge all parties that are involved to go back to your roots of where you came from and work together on doing an event,
Yes.
because I think that's gonna do you guys a lot of good. Uh, and the reason why I say that is, you might have thousands of dollars in events and throw on big stuff and everything like that, but sometimes you just got to go, back to where you started at, and and take a different look on things,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what I'm gonna leave with a little bit of advice,
Yep.
uh, because we all got to remember where we came from, where it all started,
Yep. Yep.
and it's important, because you wouldn't be here today where you're at if it wasn't for that.
That's right. And we all love the hobby. And here's the thing: it's worth fighting for. That's the truth. And yeah, we got a few more battles. We got a few more things that's going to have to be settled. But we're still going to keep. We're going to keep flying. We're going to keep teaching people how to fly. We're going to love our hobby, and we're going to share it with other people, and we're going to help as many people as we can. And hopefully, this leads to, imagine, you know, imagine, you know, a TinyWhoop race with with no conflict with TinyWhoop and Zotec or We Bleed, both doing well financially and coming together. Wow. You know, I would love to see that next year at I/O. We Bleed and TinyWhoop side by side, because I think that's the way they're going to do them, side by side tents, side by side, doing one kick butt of a TinyWhoop and UDL race, while the Lady Luck's going and they're freestyling in there and having fun and all that kind of stuff. Let's come together and make that happen. Zotec can't do it by itself. Jesse can't do it by itself. They need us. So we can help. We can help with it all. And if it costs $16,000 to run an event, then we need sponsors. We need more sponsors, because I ain't got $16,000 worth of sponsors yet. But maybe we will. It's October 24th. Who knows what's going to happen? I love you guys. I love the hobby. And we're not giving up on anybody. We're not giving up on the hobby. Even if we have to say tough things, and even if we have to hear tough things, we'll do it. And big thank you to everybody that come out tonight. And thank you to Lamone and the guys over there, Johnny Five and Neil, for starting this conversation. And hopefully it won't be the end of it. And I know it's not going to be the end of We Bleed, and it's not going to be the end of TinyWhoop. So let's support them. Go out and buy some props and some motors, and show both of them. Put it in the notes. Put it in the notes when you order something from them, that you love them and you appreciate what they're doing, because they're both doing things for the hobby that's good. Are they both maybe guilty of doing things that's divisive in the hobby? I think we could all say probably so.
But who's perfect?
That's right. Let he who's without sin throw the first stone. And I'm not going to be doing it. So thank you guys. Thank you, Skip, for coming out, man. And it's just, as usual, we did a marathon again, man. But I think we've helped. I think we've helped.
I hope so. All right, guys. Take it easy.
Take care, brother. We'll see you. All right, guys. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for all of the super chats. Heads, big thank you for the gifting of 20 memberships. I hope at least half of them stay with it. Love to see everybody in the chat. The battle's not over. There'll be more hard words. There'll be more difficult conversations, but we can get through it together. We can get through it. And a house divided will not stand. That's not biblical. Somebody told me the Bible says it. Well, it is, but it's our nation would never be where it's at if we didn't come together. So we're going to come together, and we're going to do big things for the little guys. We're going to fight for the support classes and the beginner classes in these races. So God bless you. Wherever you're at, whatever you're doing. You can see my shirt. I don't know if you guys, he got FPV goggles on. Wherever you're at and whatever you're doing, keep flying. Keep supporting and keep flying, and rise up and meet me in the air. God bless you. Thank you. Now it's time you can start putting your good nights in.